Hi, welcome to the small shed. Today I want to build a sharpening station for my chisels and planes. See you in a minute. Now, continuing with the theme of tidying up the shed, of sharpening tools this year that I've never done and promised I would do last year and didn't, and finding things to put away in logical places, I've decided to dig out all of the sharpening stones that I bought, must have been over a year ago now, and make them into some form of sharpening station so I can actually start and use them. Just have a look at the stones that I've got and then have a think about how we're going to make them work in the bench. Now, these are the stones that I bought some time ago. They're diamond sharpening stones and on a steel backing, I think, by the look of it. They come with a little non-slip pad, and I've got 300 grit, 600, 1000 and 1200. Probably don't need all four really. I think generally people tend to use 3, 6 and 12, I think, or 3, 6 and 1. But I've got the set of 4 now, so that's where we are. I also bought, at about the same time, some polishing compound in various, I think that's finer than that one, there's a green and a blue. This is for putting on leather strops to do final finishing and polishing of honed edges. I've got some leather, so I want to make a leather strop to incorporate into this as well. And it's really a question of where I put it and how I put it all together. I'm inclined to put it underneath the bench under here, so that when you need it you can just pull it out and use it. And to that end I've got a couple of Perspex trays that I bought at the, again as usual, the recycling exchange, that I've been using for keeping things in under the bench. They fit in nicely. So I'm thinking of converting one of these, it looks about right, to take the stones. Because these go together a width of something like 300mm, and because that tray is 300mm wide, I'm inclined to use the tray. That fits in beautifully. Very slight lift on the corners because of the rounded edge of the Perspex where it's been bent, but I don't think that's a problem because I think I'll mount these on a piece of MDF and I can then round the underneath of the MDF off. I'm going to put the pot for the polishing compounds in there. Then I think I'll just do a small MDF leather strop there. Means that whole thing will slide on there underneath, and as is recommended, it means that whenever I want to sharpen something, it's very quick to get the sharpening stuff out and it's all ready to use. First off though, I think I'll just chop a piece of MDF down, scrap piece, round the underneath off, and we can get the stones fixed to that. Now I've taken that rounding into account on the underneath and lifted them up slightly. I was going to glue the stones down, but until I've started to use it, I'm just going to use their non-slip pads underneath, and in that way, if I find there's a problem and that I need a space between the stones, or I find that it's not working out well the way I want to use it, I can change it without too much disruption. Where if I've glued them down, it will be more of a problem. So at the moment I'll just rely on the friction from the rubber pads to keep everything solid, which it appears to do. That's fine. The box should just fit into there with all of the stuff in it for the strop. So I just need to cut a piece now of MDF for a strop, measure that one up. Right, let's cut the MDF. That's again been rounded off front and back, sides underneath. Got some leather, which, needless to say, you know where that came from, the resource centre again. Cost literally a few pence, but that should be good enough to do my strop. So there we have it, I hope. One fully functioning sharpening station. Remains to be seen if that works well or not, but at least now I've got no excuse not to have a try. We've got the stones, we've got the polishing compound, we've got the strop, all done. I will put the liquid in as well, and then that whole lot will then get put underneath the bench, ready for use whenever I'm working. That's great. Well, if nothing else, we seem to be making a better start this year to the resolutions than we did last. Hopefully now I can get and use that sharpening station. I've got a couple of planes that need rebuilding. They've basically been left from the old shed probably 5 or 10 years. Some of them are quite rusty. They all want sharpening. I've got chisels that are sharp, but I don't use them very often, so at least now I've got no excuse not to start and use them and sharpen them when they've been used. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope it was of use. Look forward to seeing you next week, and we'll get on with something else in the shed. See you then. Bye.